Hello there, and welcome back to the course summary of EE2015 Electrical Circuits and Networks. In this video, we'll try to understand nodal analysis, that is, method to analyze circuit networks using Kirchhoff's current law. So, according to the law, for each node in the circuit, the algebraic sum of current should be zero. Let's try to understand this with an example shown here. That is, we see a network comprising of a resistor arrangement, and there are a couple of constant current sources on either side of the circuit. Zero potential has been specified, and as you can see, there are three nodes in the circuit labeled 1, 2, and 3. Let the node voltages be V1, V2, and V3. So let's apply Kirchhoff's current law for the first node. What will it be? The current going outside will be taken as positive, and current coming into the node, coming towards the node, I'll take it to be negative. So what will the equation be? First, the considering the first branch where G11 is connected to node 1, that is V1 minus 0 by R11, that is V1 minus 0 times G11 because conductance and resistance. Again, this plus V1 minus V2 times G12 plus V1 minus V3 times G13, and I'll take minus for I1 because, as I said, I1 is coming towards the node. So this gives us our nodal equation for the first node. As you can see here, on rearranging the terms, you'll get G11 plus G12 plus G13 times V1 minus G12 times V2 minus G13 times V3 gives I1. Similarly, on writing the equation for the second node, we should get V2 minus 0 times G22 plus V2 minus V3 times G23 and V2 sum plus V2 minus V1 times G12, that is 0 because there is no other current involved in this node. So that gives us the second equation. On rearranging which I should get minus G12 times V1 plus G12 plus G23 plus G22 times V2 minus G23 times V3 equals 0. Similarly, we write the nodal equation, the KVL equation for the third node, and this gives us a set of three equations where V1, V2, and V3 are unknowns, and three equations are sufficient to find them. Now we'll see that these three equations can be realized as a matrix product where the conductance matrix, as shown over here, is multiplied by the node voltage vector, which gives the source vector, current sources, and multiplying the inverse of G to the current source vectors will give us the node voltage vector directly. And okay, this was for a circuit that didn't have any constant voltage sources, but what if it does? What if it does? Let's say in the same example, G23 is replaced by a constant voltage source, say V0, uh, over there. So there are a couple of ways to do this. Basically, one can have an additional unknown for the equations. That is, let's say a current small I in lowercase, flows through the voltage source given, that is replacing G23, and again write three equations for the nodes and an additional equation uh, saying that V3 minus V2 by will be equal to V0. And these four equations are again sufficient to give us all the unknowns. But there is a better way to do this, and that is using a super node. As you can see, Vs source has been applied in the place of G23 here, and what we'll do is, we'll, instead of assuming an additional unknown I through Vs, we'll use a super node, that is N2 and N3. We'll combine them together as a single node and write the KVL equation, the KCL equation for the bigger node. So let's see how this works. So for node 1, we just saw how the equation goes. Let's write for the super node, that is current going into the super node and coming out of the super node, the algebraic sum should be 0. So again, what will it, we have V2 and V3 over there, and Vs gave us the equation that V2 minus V3 is Vs. Now coming to the KCL equation, that gives us say V2 times G22 plus V2 times G12, uh, again, yeah, V3 times G13 plus V3 times G33, and again we have V1 connected to it through G12 and G13. So that gives us minus G12 minus G13 times V1. And this should be equal to minus, this minus I3 should be equal to 0 because of the convention of direction of current. And on rearranging, we get the supernode equation. That is the second equation among the three listed here. Again, the same thing can be represented in the form of a matrix with voltage and current vectors and the conductance matrix. An important property can be seen here, that is when we use the G inverse and the current vectors on one side of the equation, we get something like this. That is G inverse times I1, G inverse I3 and Vs. That were the three terms we dealt with this. So what does this mean? Actually, I3, I1 and Vs, if you see carefully, are independent sources. So these are solutions with only one of them active. Like if I make I3 and Vs 0, I should get the first part of the sum that I have given here. This clearly means that the solution of this circuit, V1, V2 and V3, is basically the superposition of the solutions obtained only with only one of the constant voltage, so constant current or constant voltage sources active. That is, first keep I1 active, rest of them 0, then do it for I3, then Vs, and superimpose, that is take a sum of all the solutions to get the actual V1, V2 and V3 voltages. So I hope this clears up what nodal analysis is, how the matrices have to be formed, and in the next video we'll try to understand a similar approach that is based upon the Kirchhoff's voltage law. Stay tuned and see you there. Thank you.